Hi there, it's me, Jody. It's been around 6 months now since I resigned from Smith. I consider that a constructive discharge. And it's been 6 months since I made a talking video. When I started grappling with these issues at Smith College, and by these issues I mean the far left orthodoxy, if you will, otherwise known as woke, it was a process. And in my effort to improve working conditions at Smith, I started making these videos. And in these videos, I was trying to figure these things out and how this ideology works. I feel like I worked it out for the most part for myself. And I think I was fairly successful. And I hope that my videos, which kind of delve into my process of figuring out these things, were helpful to other people. I have not made a video since then because I didn't feel like I had anything more to say really on that topic. And I still don't feel like I have anything more to say on that topic. I do have some other things I would like to talk about now. However, one of them is a legal update with what's going on with Smith College, but I'm going to do that in another video. The other thing I want to start talking about more is culture and how culture functions in a society. I think it's important for us to understand how culture works and operates if we are to best understand how to fight what is obviously a cultural revolution. But in this video, I'm going to talk about the COVID stuff. As I was going through my process at Smith College, we were also going through a global pandemic. And at the time, I watched as pandemic-related issues became very politicized. I decided, I'm not going to get involved in that because that is a separate issue from this woke far left orthodoxy stuff. However, I have come to see that there are some striking similarities going on. When I made my first video, there weren't a ton of people questioning it simply because a ton of people were not aware of its existence. And if they were, they didn't quite understand it. I didn't even quite understand it at the time. And now there are a lot of people who are questioning it, and there's a lot of information about it, which is good. That's a good thing. But at the time, I was very much aware that anyone who did question this orthodoxy or criticize it in any way, or simply ask not to be reduced to one's skin color in one's workplace, which is a request I made of Smith College, that they were reduced very quickly to white supremacist and written off. So instead of engaging, they're just written off. Kathy McCartney wrote me off. She said, this individual does not speak for Smith College or any part of Smith College. So I was cast out instead of having an exchange or a discussion. And as you know, the ideology itself is very reductive. It reduces people to their immutable characteristics and nothing else. I know that's wrong. So we have a reductive ideology, and we have people defending the ideology by, instead of engaging in an honest discussion or answering earnest, honest questions that people might have about the ideology, simply writing the person off and saying, well, if you question this, you're racist. Therefore, I'm not going to engage with you. That phenomenon I see happening with the COVID stuff. And so that is a red flag to me. There's a lot going on with the COVID stuff. It cannot be reduced to a binary. There are many separate issues going on here. They're being lumped together, and anyone who questions any one of these things is written off, not as a white supremacist, but as an anti-vaxxer. That's the write-off. Which one is, I think, probably in most cases inaccurate. There are people who are against vaccines in general, who are anti-vax and call themselves anti-vax. But simply questioning any one of these tenets I see people calling those people who question anti-vax, and that's inaccurate because you don't know if they're anti-vax or not. And so that parallel is disturbing to me. So I started thinking a lot more. I started thinking maybe this isn't separate. Maybe this is the same kind of thing that we're doing, this in-group, out-group stuff that's been stoked by the woke. It seems very similar to me, and therefore I think deserves some more exploration. As I see it, there are many things going on and many questions to be asked, which is masks. Are they effective? Are they necessary? Those are just questions. Vaccines, these vaccines in particular, mRNA vaccines, are they effective? If they do work, how well do they work? Is it accurate to call them a vaccine, or could they in fact be a therapeutic, which is not a bad thing? Does every single person on the planet need a vaccine? And if so, what is the hoped for outcome? And can we achieve that hoped for outcome through the means that we are now employing? I'm not purporting to know the answer to this. I'm just asking the question. And then you have the issue of compliance, or persuading people to comply by withholding certain, some would call them rights, some would call them privileges, by barring access to basically participating in civic life and physical movement across the planet. And so if we have agreed as a society that we are going to do that, and I don't think we have agreed on that, and that's the issue. Like, do we need to be doing this? Have we done a true and honest cost-benefit analysis of this? Again, I don't know the answer. I have feelings and I have thoughts and I have questions. And then we have the issue of, if we have decided as a society that we are going to require every proof of vaccination, or else you will not be allowed to participate in civic society in the way that you always have, then how are we going to do that? Is it going to be a piece of paper? Or is it going to be a digital mechanism to which potentially, and I would even say probably, a whole lot of your other personal data can and will be attached and utilized in ways, some of which we can guess and many of which we cannot foresee? Is that the way we want to go? And this notion that we must use a digital ID because of public health, that's another question. So there are many different individual issues that are interrelated. This isn't a single question. This is a series of questions, and in my mind, a series of exchanges that need to happen. A full and honest disclosure of all information, and full analysis and access to that information, access to that analysis. I know that for me, when I get afraid, when I have the fear, as I call it, I get emotional and reactive, and I tend to, my mind bypasses the rational part of my mind and just wants to reduce things to simple black and white binaries so that I know which side I can be on it. And I really think that's something primal. I think that's a tribal or in-group, out-group thing. And then I go to the thing that I think is the right thing, and then I go online and I try to find people to validate that. That's what I do, so I can feel like I'm right. And maybe I'm doing that because some part of me some part of me knows that this is out of fear and this might not be right and I need other people to validate it. Who knows? Maybe that's another video. But I've come to understand fear as something important, something useful evolutionarily. But I know one thing, it can be very destabilizing. And I feel my own fear, and I feel the fear of other people. And I think that fear usually drives us down that path where we make reductions, quick reductions, and we cling to one side or the other, or one tribe or the other. And I think the only way we can disperse fear or allay fear is to have an open heart and engage in these issues, these complex issues, acknowledge that these are complex issues, acknowledge that people have questions, and acknowledge the need for people to have discussions about these things. I don't see any other way. So that's what I had to say today. I hope that's useful. I don't know. That's where I'm at. I'm thinking a lot about this, and then maybe we can start talking more about what's happening and happening very rapidly in our society over the COVID stuff. I think we need to talk about this a lot more than we have been. I know it's difficult. I know that. I still think we need to have this discussion. So let's have it. Let's keep talking.